Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us for the regular Village Board meeting for October 11th, 2022. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Lana, roll call, please.
Mayor DeBold.
Here.
Trustees Brockman.
Here.
Carroll.
Here.
Chapman.
Here.
Kirkland. Here. Luciano.
Here.
And Selfridge.
Here.
Very good. Everybody is here. Are there any citizens wishing to address the Village Board this evening? Seeing none, we will move on to this evening's consent agenda. Item number 1 will be approval of the regular meeting minutes from September 13th, 2022. Item number 2 will be approval of the Committee of the Whole meeting minutes, September 13th, 2022. Item number 3, approval of accounts payable in the amount of $624,778.93. Item number 4, approval of a payment in the amount of $19,320 to the State of Illinois Treasurer for the preemption of the traffic signals at 52 and 55. Number 5 would be approval of payment in the amount of $58,881.60 to the State of Illinois Treasurer for the preemption equipment at the traffic signal at 59 and Sile Road and the path extensions over near River Bluff subdivision. And lastly, item number 6 would be approval of payment number 11 in the amount of $1,807,582.46 to Pacific Construction for the Public Works Facility. Are there any items a trustee has a question of? If not, move to approve.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion Luciano, second Kirkland. Roll call, please.
Carroll.
Yes.
Chapman.
Yes.
Kirkland.
Yes.
Luciano.
Yes.
Selfridge.
Yes.
And Brockman.
Yes.
All right, very good. Our consent is approved. We'll move into reports and communications. There are a couple of things on here. Lana, is there anything additional other than the agenda that you have?
No, sir.
Thank you. First off, we'll start with a recognition of the Eagle Scouts and some public works staff for the ticket booth project that was done. I want to introduce one of the Eagle Scouts, Luke Jant. He's a Manuka High School senior. He's looking to go to Texas State, U of I in Champaign, University of Iowa, or New Mexico to study some psychology. He's been a scout for 11 years, 5 years as a Cub Scout, 6 years as a Boy Scout. His parents are Paul and Christy, which I believe are here. Thank you. And they live over in the Kipling side. With that, I also want to introduce Dave Anderson, one of our public works staff that also assisted him with this, and let them talk a little bit about the project. I think most everybody made it out to the Oktoberfest and saw the project they put together in regards to the ticket booth. We'll be able to use this for a variety of different events within the village. The next one we'll be seeing it will be the holiday market. We're hoping to change up the lights a little bit and have a little more festivities in there. But again, a very nice project, very appreciative of it. And with that, I'll gladly turn the floor over to you guys. By all means, say anything you want.
Luke came to me asking for a project, and I asked 3 people in this room if there was any projects available. And Mr. Klima came to me and said, yes, we need a ticket booth. And Luke took over the rest after I helped him draw it out. So if you would like to explain some of it.
Sure. So I sat down with the leaders of my troop and discussed planning the
It's okay, go ahead.
Take a breath.
And it was approved, and we worked on framing and the exterior, and I am doing it to get my highest rank Eagle. And I just want to say a couple thank yous to Mr. Anderson, the leaders of my Boy Scout troop, and everyone who came out. And Mr. Klima, thank you, as well as Kyle Rashala.
Do you want to introduce anybody that helped you through your troop? By all means, feel free.
I'd like to thank everyone, I guess.
There you go. There you go.
And as
Nice.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And also like to thank my parents. They've been very supportive through the whole thing.
Well, thank you very much. In regards to, again, I believe a lot of the different board members made it out to the Oktoberfest. They got to see the project that you guys completed, very nicely done. And Public Works Director Noriega's been in fine contact with them to make sure they move it diligently so nothing's damaged. You guys did a very nice project, but it appears to be built rather sturdy, so I think we're going to be all right.
Well, staff loves it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. After that, we have our proclamation for our Fire Prevention Week. And I don't have it. I know it was amended, so I have one, thank you. Mr. Broccoli handed it over, so I do apologize for that. I have it, Steve handed it over, thank you. Fire Prevention Week, October 9th through October 15th, 2022. Whereas fire is a serious public safety concern both locally and nationally, and homes are the locations where people are the greatest risk from fire. And whereas home fires caused 2,580 civilian deaths in the United States in 2020, according to the National Fire Protection Agency, and fire departments in the United States responded to 356,500 home fires. Whereas smoke alarms sense smoke well before you can, alerting you to danger in the event of a fire in which you may have as little as 2 minutes to escape safely. Working smoke detectors cut the risk of dying in reported home fires in half. Whereas Shorewood residents should be sure everyone in the home understands the sounds of a smoke alarm and knows how to respond. And whereas Shorewood residents who have planned and practiced a home fire escape plan are more prepared and will therefore be more likely to survive a fire. And whereas Shorewood residents will make sure their smoke detectors and carbon monoxide alarms meet the needs of all of their family members, including those with sensory or physical disabilities. And whereas Shorewood first responders are dedicated to reducing the occurrence of home fires and home fire injuries through prevention and protection education, and whereas Shorewood residents are responsive to public education measures, are better able to take personal steps to increase their safety from fire, especially in their homes. And whereas the 2022 Fire Prevention Week theme, Fire Won't Wait, Plan Your Escape, effectively serves to remind Shorewood residents it is important to have a home fire escape plan. Therefore, be it resolved that the Village of Shorewood will observe October 9th through 15th, 2022 as Fire Prevention Week through this village, and I urge all the people of Shorewood to plan and practice a home fire escape for Fire Prevention Week 2022 and to support the many public safety activities and efforts of fire and emergency services. Thank you. Trustee Brockman, thank you for having that readily available for me. I do apologize. So we did reach out to the fire department. They had a scheduling conflict, but they were also going to try to make an appearance tonight. But again, just due to a scheduling conflict, they were unable to attend. So as everybody's probably well versed in that one, change a clock, change a battery, and let your smoke detector do its thing. Moving on to the big one for the season here will be Halloween trick-or-treat hours are October 31st from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Keep your lights on and be ready for youngins to come around. All right.
Hope for no snow.
And we hope for no snow. All right, as we will move into this evening's order of business. Item number 1 will be a presentation of the March 31st, 2022 Comprehensive Annual Financial Report, and Ms. Burkle.
Thank you. Presented this evening is the village's annual comprehensive financial report for our fiscal year that ended back on March 31st of 2022. We completed the financial auditing and reporting over the summer months. Presented in the packet tonight are a few separate reports. At the front is a single audit report, which was required due to the dollar threshold of federal funds we had come through, most notably those ARPA funds that we got last summer. Additionally, there is a TIF report as required since we have a TIF, and then the big portion of that is the annual comprehensive financial report. So I won't steal all of the fun. Anthony Cervini, partner in charge of government services from Sikich, is here to take us through the report.
Thank you, Ann. Good evening, Mayor, trustees. Good to see everyone again. On behalf of Sikich, just want to thank you for the opportunity to present the results of our audit of the village, again, as of and for your fiscal year ended March 31st, 2022. As Ann noted, the village did undergo a single audit of the federal expenditures this year, driven by the spending of the federal dollars there. You spent approximately $1.3 million in federal funds. Pleased to report, as part of the testing and the spending on those $1.3 million of federal spending, we've issued 2 unmodified opinions on the federal testing, one over the financial compliance, as well as one over the federal awards. Those unmodified opinions are the highest level of assurance that we can provide as auditors. It means the single audit is fairly stated in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles. All of the compliance requirements were met as part of that. So I do commend you for receipt of that unmodified opinion. Within the annual comprehensive financial report, just a few items to highlight for you on that report. Again, this is a document that the village voluntarily prepares, includes more information than what you're required to present both on a compiled statutes as well as a generally accepted accounting principles standpoint. Within the annual comprehensive financial report, in the introductory section is the Government Finance Officers Association, or GFOA Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting. This is for the village's March 31st, 2021 report there. Really a robust review procedure that the village's report goes under to ensure that all of the required components are there. So just want to congratulate board and staff for receipt of the GFOA certificate. Also within the introductory section is the transmittal letter immediately following that. Transmittal letter, recommend reading that in conjunction with the management's discussion and analysis, which you'll find immediately after the independent auditor's report. Just high-level summary information for you in terms of looking at the annual comprehensive financial report, which is a larger document there. This is really the key excerpts that you can take out of that document for that executive summary level information. Within the report, also pleased to present that we've issued a clean, unmodified opinion on the village's financial statements, again, as of and for your fiscal year ended March 31st. As part of that, the opinion does look a little bit differently this year. The substance of the report didn't change significantly, just a little bit of the form changed in terms of how things were presented. Operationally, as of March 31st, village reported $2.5 million of unrestricted net position for your governmental activities. This includes your general fund, your other tax-supported funds, your business type activities, your water sewer fund had an unrestricted net position of $33.5 million. From a fund level standpoint there, your general fund had adequate solid reserves as of March 31st. They're about 47% of your general sub-fund expenditures. You had fund balance set aside for that from a reserve standpoint there, well positioned from a fund balance standpoint. Changes for the fiscal year from a fund standpoint, your general fund essentially broke even after transfers out. Your capital projects fund, due to the timing of your bond issuance there, increased about $6.9 million there. As you spend down those dollars on future capital projects, you'll see that balance come back down in terms of the spending. Your non-major governmental funds increased just under $400,000, so your total governmental funds increased about $7.4 million. Again, $6.9 million of that driven by the capital projects fund. Last 2 items I'll cover for you this evening, just the funded status of the Illinois Municipal Retirement Fund as of December 31st, 2021, which is the most recent information available for IMRF. The village was approximately 92.7% funded there. From a defined benefit pension fund standpoint, 92% funded, very solid funding ratio there. What that means for you on a day-to-day basis in terms of operations there, any IMRF employees, it helps keep those contribution rates down. Obviously, from a market standpoint, we expect to see that ratio go down over the next couple of years, at least certainly for 2022. We've seen a decrease in the market performance on that, but again, you're well positioned there. Any increases there should not be overly significant, as those are smoothed out by IMRF as well. From a police pension standpoint, you are 86% funded as of March 31st, 2022. Pension fund did transfer its investments over to the consolidated fund this year, so time will tell in terms of the investment performance of the consolidated funds for that. At the end of the day, from a takeaway standpoint, though, both funds are in very solid funded positions as of March 31st and December 31st, respectively, on that. With that, happy to answer any questions. I would just like to say, again, thank you to the board. Thank you to Ann and her team for a smooth audit process. Always enjoy coming to the village. Things are always in great shape for us to initiate and begin our audit and going through the process. So happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody have any questions for Mr. Cerveni? No? Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
We move into item number 2, will be consideration for approval of a proposal with Granius Agenda Management Services in the amount of $24,111.75 and live stream for a period of 36 months in the amount of $23,056.14 for a combined total of $47,167.89. Mr. McCluskey is going to explain all that.
Good evening, everyone. So we're looking at Granicus here for agenda management and live streaming. This was a child of the AV committee that staff formed to address any shortcomings of the current AV infrastructure of the village. A result of that was finding that the live streaming is currently lacking in quality. It crashes, it pixelates, it buffers. It's not always the most reliable stream. Part of that is also the accessibility of the live stream. So being able to find what you're looking for, being able to scrub through the timeline and looking for certain elements of a video if you're looking for something in particular. So as part of that, we looked at Granicus. Granicus provides an agenda management solution which allows staff to create the agenda packets, the packets, and the minutes in a more efficient pattern. What it also allows us to do is map the agenda to the timeline of the video. So during the live stream, the agenda actually pops up and displays for those viewing so they can keep along and keep time with the meeting as it progresses. As a result of that, it also, on the going back to the archive video, if you want to go back and look at something, you can scan through and look at votes, look at roll calls, or any of the other actionable items in the agenda and how they happen in the video and go directly to that spot. It'll also be searchable for residents. A main component of this is accessibility for residents, being able to provide an easier method for them to go through the minutes, go through the meetings, and look for find what they're looking for. The other element is the agenda management. So right now, there's room for error. There's room for stuff to not make it to time to elapse that people don't get in what they need to get into the packet, and then they have to go to the next agenda. This will provide the ability for staff to stay on topic, keep their agenda items on there, provide a avenue for them to upload their documents and get approval for those. So kind of streamline, make it easier, less wasted time. So we are seeking approval for the agreement. This is a 36-month agreement with Granicus for the live stream and the agenda management.
This was obviously with a topic we discussed at the last committee of the whole, which they're just moving forward. So if anybody has any additional questions or anything further for Mr. McCluskey,
I do.
go ahead.
When will this be implemented?
As soon as possible. There is a training. There will be training for staff using it. There'll be training for the live stream side of things as well. But this is one of those actionable items that we can move on as soon as we have approval for. So a couple weeks, I would think. It also depends on availability of some of the equipment. Granicus does have a loaner item we can use for the live stream, and then once the actual item that we would need is available, we can switch that out and go. So it's pretty quick turnaround.
To buy that item, or is that furnished
That's
by them?
included in this.
Okay. All right, thank you.
I'll make a motion for approval of proposal for Granicus for agenda management services in the amount of $24,111.75 and live stream for a period of 36 months in the amount of $23,056.14 for a total of $47,167.89.
I'll second.
Motion Selfridge, second Carroll. Roll call, please.
Chapman?
Yes.
Kirkland?
Yes.
Luciano?
Yes,
Selfridge?
Yes.
Brockman?
Yes.
And Carroll.
Yes.
All right, item number 2 is approved. Item number 3 be consideration for approval of the purchase of equipment for the Village Hall conference rooms, audiovisual upgrade in the amount of $17,200. Again, this is Mr. McCluskey will further explain, as this is one of the items that we discussed a few weeks ago. Go ahead, Mr.
So yes, another result of the committees formed by staff. This was to address the shortcomings of the conference rooms, not this room, but the 4 conference rooms that staff use, and then the large conference room at the top of the stairs in this building. So these are frequented daily by staff for meetings. It also is used frequently for outside groups, so HOAs, the Chamber of Commerce, and we also had a lot of use in recent events in the community when we had outside agencies using our facilities for conferences and meetings. So there was identified a number of issues as far as usability and performance in these rooms, and what we wanted to do here is accomplish a more accessible, user-friendly environment in these rooms. So we're looking at purchase of TVs and some web conferencing equipment to facilitate these rooms and make them more user-friendly. So we're looking for the approval of the upfitting or upgrade of these rooms in the amount of $17,200.
Anybody have any questions for Mr. McCluskey?
No, I'd just like to mention that this is something that has to be updated. How old is the equipment we're using right now?
I would say it varies. Each room was a little bit different. There was small steps here and there, but overall, I would say 6 to 7 years on these rooms specifically.
Big technology moves along, we're way beyond.
Yeah, we want to provide equipment for another 6 to 7 years. So,
Thank you.
I make a motion to approve the purchase of equipment for Village Hall conference rooms, audiovisual upgrade in the amount of $17,200.
Second.
Motion Kirkland, second Carroll. Roll call, please.
Kirkland.
Yes.
Luciano.
Yes.
Selfridge.
Yes.
Brockman.
Yes.
Carroll.
Yes.
And Chapman.
Yes.
All right, item number 3 is approved. Item number 4 be consideration for approval of an ordinance amending Title III of the Shorewood Village Code regarding business license and registration fees. This item's up for a first read. Ms. Engel.
Thank you. At the Committee of the Whole meeting in September, I came to you with a discussion about the business license fees and how we were using an odd system of basing it based on the type of use and then square footage and adding a bunch of miscellaneous fees. We thought it would make sense to streamline those, come forward with sort of the proposal that we talked about at that time. For the majority of businesses, we would have one general business license fee ranging from $75 for the smallest businesses to $500 for the largest businesses. And then we would only have a few specific fees that are just for specific types of businesses. For gas centers, we'd have a $250 fee. For hotels, motels, nursing homes, we'd be $500. For mobile home parks, we would be $3,000, and for storage businesses, and mini warehouses and self-storage, we'd be $500. We also proposed to make the fees for both home occupations and business registrations the same at $35, which is essentially an administrative fee. At the last meeting, there were some questions about how we compare to other municipalities. I did include a list in the packet. It's really all over the board, so it wasn't really easy to summarize, but for the most part, we find the smaller municipalities and the ones that aren't home ruled tend to have flat fees. So that includes places like Shanahan, Frankfurt, Minooka, Mokina, New Lenox, and Oswego. And then the larger towns tend to do it a little bit similar to what we're doing, where they base it on the use and the size of the space, and that includes Bolingbrook, Joliet, Plainfield, Romeoville, and Woodridge, as some examples. I'm happy to take any questions. We figured since there was some discussion last time, we would just put it up for a first read, and then if you have any suggestions or changes, we'll do that before the next meeting.
Anybody have any questions regarding that? We can take a motion to keep it, waive the second read if everybody's okay with it, or if you'd like to sit on it to review everything, we can gladly do that as well.
I'll make a motion for approval of an ordinance amending Title III of the Shorewood Village Code regarding business license and registrations fees and waive the second read.
Second.
Motion Luciano, second Selfridge. Roll call, please.
Luciano.
Yes.
Selfridge.
Yes.
Brockman,
Yes.
Carroll,
Yes.
Chapman,
Yes.
and Kirkland.
Yes.
All right, item number 4 is approved. Item number 5 will be consideration for approval of a temporary grand opening signage for Raising Cane's. Ms. Engel.
Sure. Historically, in our zoning ordinance, we've had specific regulations for grand opening signs. We really shouldn't be doing that because it's essentially regulating signs by what it says, which we're not allowed to do. So we took that out at the last text amendment with the intention that if there were a grand opening or a reason to have more signage, we would just bring it before you and ask for special permission. So that's what we're doing for Raising Cane's. They'll be opening on October 18th. They would like to put up 2 now open signs. They're essentially your typical banners. Those would be up for 2 weeks. And then they want to put up a whole bunch of signs for the first 3 days they're open. So that would be 6 feather flags that are 12 feet tall, and 1 giant inflatable Raising Cane dog on their roof. Because it's a short period of time, we thought it was reasonable, so we're asking for your approval.
Anybody have
Raising Cane
any,
is the mascot.
anybody have any objections to promoting the new business?
No.
Okay.
I move to approve temporary grand opening signage for Raising Cane's.
Second.
Motion Kirkland, seconded by Mr. Carroll. Roll call, please.
Selfridge,
Yes.
Brockman,
Yes.
Carroll,
Yes.
Chapman,
Yes.
Kirkland,
Yes.
and Luciano.
Yes.
Okay, away they go with signs. Item number 6 will be consideration for approval of a bid award to H&H Electric for the 2022 Decorative River Road Street Lighting Project in the amount of $332,537.52 and authorize execution of the contract consistent with the bid documents. Public Works Director Noriega.
Thank you, Mayor. So this project is installing 11 street lights along River Road from 52 to approximately Ranchwood. Street lights will be similar to those already seen on 52 and 59. We have $200,000 in the budget. We are also awarded $200,000 in grant funding for this project as well. So the bid amount is within our total budget. We received 3 bids with H&H Electric as the lowest responsible bidder. It's approximately 6% below our engineer's construction estimate. So with that, staff is recommending accepting the bid proposal and award the contract to H&H Electric in the amount of $332,537.52 and authorize execution of the contract consistent with the bid documents. Any questions? Yes, sir.
I noticed in the proposal that they're powder coating these versus paint. So we're gonna kind of study that and see which way to go for the future.
We'd definitely like to see where that goes.
Yeah, okay.
Have we had H&H do any work here in the village before?
According to staff, yes. I know Seabell and myself have used H&H Electric on other projects.
Okay.
Noriel, do you know this? So this is 11 lights that gets us from River Road south from 52 to about Ranchwood.
Yes, sir.
Is it approximately we would need another 11 lights? Is that a fair statement to get to Stile Road to complete that segment of the roadway?
I did not count, but I don't think that length is, I'd have to confirm the length from Ranchwood to Stile Road. We like the spacing of the street lighting approximately 200 to 250 feet apart.
We're going to mirror what we did on the north side as we did from River Road going north of 52 up to Black.
Yes, sir.
Okay, this will be a good continuation project to keep our streetlight program in place. We did years back on Stile Road out by the park. We've got a good program out there, so we're going to end up with a little bit of a lag there. So I'm just kind of curious as to where we fall to finish Ranchwood south to Stile, and then what we may need from Stile Road west of River to connect to probably about where the Kipling development there, or Shorewood Glen is. So there's another segment there. So, all right, just curious if you knew how many that we would need.
We'll look into that.
No problem, thank you. Sorry about that. Anybody else have any questions for Noriel regarding this project?
Going to be a lot of property tore up, or is it going to use electric that's already there?
They will be, well, they're using the existing electric controller the lighting controller that is near Lenny's Gas and Wash. It's near River and 52. A lot of this project is directional bore, so it's not a lot of open cut, but it is still, again, it's just wire. Much of the excavation will be where the foundations are being installed. These are all concrete foundations.
Poles are readily available, so there's no delays.
There is going to be a close to 18 to 20 week delivery for the poles, so the construction will start in the spring.
Okay. Just so everybody's aware of that then.
Make a motion to approve a bid award to H&H Electric for the 2022 Decorative River Road Street Lighting Project in the amount of $332,537.52 and authorize execution of the contract consistent with the bid documents.
Second.
Motion Kirkland, second Selfridge. Roll call, please.
Brockman,
Yes.
Carroll,
Yes.
Chapman,
Yes.
Kirkland,
Yes.
Luciano,
Yes.
and Selfridge.
Yes.
All right, item number 6 approved. Item number 7 to be consideration for approval of the purchase of census water meters and water meter accessories from Core and Main in the amount of $99,885. Public Works Director Noriega.
Thank you again, Mayor. So we have approximately $100,000 in our budget for the purchase of water meter and accessories. We use census meters in our water distribution system. We purchased these through Core and Main. They are a sole source provider for us in this area. The unfortunate part, just like with every other project that we have in supply and demand, it is going to take approximately about 10 to 14, maybe even more. Our last delivery almost took 3 months to receive. So I'm asking for, staff is recommending to the village board that we approve the purchase in the amount of $99,885 from Core and Main for census water meter and accessories for our supplies. Any questions?
This would be a little bit more of a routine item that we have, and as we've been updating our water meters throughout the village. Is there anything other than that?
And this will also be for supply for construction as well, when hopefully the project's single-family homes ramp up. We use these also for their water meters.
There we go. Added use.
I'll make a motion to approve the purchase of census water meters and water meter accessories from Core and Main in the amount of $99,885.
Second.
Motion Selfridge, second Kirkland. Roll call, please.
Carroll,
Yes.
Chapman,
Yes.
Kirkland,
Yes.
Luciano.
Yes.
Selfridge,
Yes.
and Brockman.
Yes.
Item number 7 is approved. From that, we will move into our report segment. Move right into building. Mr. Dudash.
Thank you, Mayor. Just an update on the Verton House demolition. I did speak to the representative of the trust, and they are waiting on disconnection letters from the utilities, NICOR and ComEd, before applying for a permit. But once that's done, it should go quickly. So we're just trying to be patient here. Last week, we did issue a certificate of occupancy to Public Works, so they are, as far as the building department is concerned, it's safe for personnel and public. So hopefully they can start getting their stuff in there shortly. And as far as new construction, things are slowing down a bit, but I think that's just mostly due to the weather and economic circumstances. But there's still a lot of holes in the ground, so a lot of foundations, so it'll be a busy winter.
Thank you. Community development.
Thank you. Staff received an application from Troy School District. They're going to be building an IT maintenance building at Gregory and Capista in the Crossroad Business Park, so we're excited about that. A number of people have asked about the construction at Target. I'd mentioned before that they're doing some front-of-house improvements to improve the situation where people who are buying online pickups can pull into the parking lot and leave. They are also building out some area in the center of their store for an Ulta, so that'll be a nice addition to that store. And for those who don't know, Ulta is like cosmetics and makeup and stuff like that. Raising Cane's will be opening on October 18th. Wingstop will be moving to 968 Brook Forest, where Witch was. And Treadfit will be moving to 520 Brook Forest where the Steve's Bakery was. Kind of the opposite business. Instead of a bakery, this one is a fitness place. Thank you for everybody who attended the comprehensive plan meeting. We got some really good feedback. The open house is coming up next Wednesday, October 19th. That'll be from 7 p.m. till 9 p.m. We encourage all residents to come out and attend that. There will be opportunities to give input on the sub-area plans, which are plans for specific areas of town, to talk about goals and objectives, and to talk about different ways we can do new development. To encourage people to come out, we'll serve you cookies, and we'll also have a raffle for some pretty good prizes. So we encourage people to come out. At staff level, we're really working hard on getting materials ready for the ICSC event. That's the International Council of Shopping Centers event that'll take place end of next week at Navy Pier. I'm going, our planner is going, Edgar Lara, village administrator Aaron Klima is going, and the mayor is going as well. So we're hoping to have a good showing at that event. And that's all I've got.
Thank you. Finance?
Thank you. Since the scouts are still here, I did want to quickly offer my appreciation for the beautiful structure you built. On top of all of the other things everybody offered about this during your presentation, it allows us to more securely and efficiently process ticket sales and handle cash at these special events, and allows us to further secure the village's assets. So thank you. It will be something that the village and the residents will be able to use for years to come. Thanks.
Thank you. Parks?
Good evening. The Parks and Recreation Department would also like to reiterate what our finance director said. We greatly appreciate your contribution to our events. We also have Monster Bash this Thursday. It'll be at Town Center Park. DJ Leo will be playing music from 5 to 7, and then we'll have a free showing of Monsters, Inc. to kick off Halloween shortly thereafter. We will also have food trucks from 5 to 8 p.m., excuse me. Right now, we're set to have Mr. Salty's Popcorn, Eliza's Angels, Cerna's Grill, Jack's Chicken Ribs, and Los Razos Mexican Grill. And then we have our Autumn Fest event on Sunday, October 23rd from 2 to 4 p.m., which will also be in Town Center Park. We'll have our trunk or treat, hayrack rides, and more. We also still have spaces for businesses, organizations, and individuals who'd like to participate as trunks. If you are interested, please contact the Parks and Recreation Department. Thank you.
Thank you. Police?
Thank you, Mayor. As you know, for the last couple of years with the pandemic, there were some issues in supply chain getting squad cars. We finally were able to get some through a little beg, borrowing, and stealing, but we have them. At the same time, we didn't have, there's also supply chain issues with the equipment they needed. So we were talking about changing the squad car design. The graphic packages, the pricing went up quite a bit because of the amount of graphics used. So we put together a committee at the police department, all ranks of the patrol division. They had several meetings to discuss different designs, and we finally came up with one, voted on it, it was approved. So this is the first viewing of the new squad car design. It's simplified, black and white design.
Like it.
Pretty slick looking. Everyone seems to be really happy with it, and that is the first one has been made and delivered. The next two should be arriving in the next couple of weeks once they're built. But that is the new design. Any questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Public Works?
Thank you, Mayor. So next week, we'll be starting hydrant flushing. This will be our fall flush. It's a little bit less extensive than our spring. We're concentrating much of the locations at our dead-end locations. Leaf pickup program has started. We have begun. So this week, staff is already out there collecting leaves, so residents, for information, please, of course, check our website. We try to make one pass throughout the entire village once a week. And then for the good news, as building official Dudash had indicated, certificate of occupancy for the public works site has been issued. So they are still working on punch list items. They are still doing a final clean. They are also out there installing the fence. So the chain link fence is actually installed along the north side of the building itself. probably approximately 30% complete with the fencing. Much of the poles are already installed. Gates will be coming in for those as well. Furniture, 95% of the furniture is in. We're just missing a few pieces that are just lagging from the supplier. But essentially, the building is ready. And our fleet mechanics, our fleet staff has already started moving in some parts and shelving units into our parts room. So we're there. And I would love to take anyone for a tour when you have availability. That's all I have.
Gonna get a bunch of phone calls.
Yeah.
And we'll focus a little more onto like a grand opening, ribbon cutting, probably closer to spring. We want to let them, it's going to take some time for Public Works to get moved over. We're starting leaf pickup and then going right into snow. So I don't know that too many folks want to stand out there in December or January personally. So we'll probably try to do something March-ish tentatively. We'll keep an eye on the weather and we'll make certain everybody gets plenty of notice to come get a tour of the facility and how it all ended up being. So with that, move into our village administrator, Klima.
So 2 items. The first one, the food trucks discussion. We all know that we passed the ordinance a couple months ago, and with the initial months of that, there's been ongoing debate with some of the people that have food trucks down in that Jensen area. So we've had robust discussions with them, follow-up discussions with them, all kinds of things like that. Where we're at today is that we have a choice. We could simply write them tickets, and if the court process were to be followed, we wouldn't have a resolution probably till February or March. We have since then had our village attorney reach out to the attorney that represents their association. They've arrived at a document that we think we can get implemented here at the end of the calendar year. We don't have a final response yet, but we shouldn't have to bring that back for board action. It can be something that I can sign off administratively with the representatives from the various companies that make that association. But we just ask for your patience as we work through that. You may or may not have heard any discussions about that from particularly the gentleman you know from that neighborhood. We will keep him appraised of what's going on when we have a final resolution.
Are you going to advise us of what's going on?
We will. The second thing is, you know that Mr. Campos has come to visit us at board meetings regarding the roof at his house that it's under construction in Lake Forest. And right now, we have issued him a ticket. He's very anxious about the timing of that ticket relative to when he wants to move it and other things. Dave's office is working with his attorney to move that up for a hearing in front of a judge here in the next couple of weeks. Hopefully we can get a final resolution from a judge. So again, we ask for patience in case you've heard about that. Mr. Campos has been very active going around and talking to other people, and we are working with it. I don't know if you want to add anything, but.
No, not, excuse me, not really. He was issued a citation. He brought contractors on site to do the roof. The building department and the police department were down there, shut the project down right away. Then he was subsequently issued a ticket. So that'll go up before a judge, and, he'll try to, I don't know what his challenge will be to the ordinance, but they'll try to find some way around the ordinance, and the judge will decide whether he can put the roof on that he wants or not, according to our ordinances.
It's due that he's in violation of the annexation agreement.
It actually, no,
At
Mayor.
the homeowners association.
I almost said mayor, excuse me. He
happens around the house.
Yeah, I'll bet. Really, the violation that he got a ticket for was violating a stop work order. Right, Mark?
Yes.
Yep. But the ordinance that he's violating, when we did the annexation agreement, we also did a planned unit development. And we did a planned unit development ordinance that controlled a lot of the architectural aspects of the subdivision. So the actual ordinance that prohibits him from being able to put up the roof that he wants to is the planned unit development ordinance.
Okay, thank you.
Just want to make sure everybody's kind of updated with those last couple little things.
We'll let everybody know. It'll probably go to court in the next week or so, and we'll let you know what the outcome is, and the judge will make a decision one way or the other.
Anything else? Very good. We'll move into our trustee comments, and we'll move right into trustee Brockman.
Thank you, Mayor. Next meeting for planning and zoning will be on November 2nd. And as of right now, it's too early for agenda. And I'd like to thank all the scouts that participated in building that wonderful unit out there. I got to see it during the Oktoberfest and really looked great. So thank you very much. And to our village employee as well. Thank you. That's all I got.
Thank you. Trustee Carroll.
No comment.
Trustee Chapman.
No, I'd just like to say something. I got pictures of you hanging on my wall at the house too, when you're in blue instead of the brown. And you were dedicated to the cause at that time too. So I got the picture of us all sitting on the stairs. So good job. That's it.
Thank you, sir. And Trustee Kirkland.
Thank you. I too just wanted to say thanks for the nice job you did on the ticket booth, everybody that was involved. Much appreciated. We love when we get, these kind of projects completed for us. It's good for us and it's good for you guys too, so thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Luciano.
I just wanted to mention that the next Citizens Advisory Committee meeting will be October 27th up here at the Village Hall at 7 p.m. And as everyone else had mentioned, I'm grateful to the Boy Scouts or Eagle Scouts for putting together that ticket booth. It's a good job. That's all I have.
Thank you. And Trustee Selfridge.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to reiterate the same thank you. I think you guys did a great job. It was much bigger than I actually anticipated, so it's a big project, so very impressive. I don't think I could build it. Thank you, that's all.
No problem. And again, thank you. It's great to see our youth involved in continuing with the Boy Scout, Cub Scout, up to the Eagle Scout program. So thank you, and as everybody's reiterated that, with that, I'll take a motion to move into executive session discussing land acquisition, sale, or lease of real estate owned by the village, collective negotiation matters between the village and its employees.
So moved.
Second.
Motion Luciano, second Selfridge. Roll call, please.
Chapman?
Yes.
Kirkland?
Yes.
Luciano?
Yes.
Selfridge?
Yes.
Brockman?
Yes.
And Carroll.
All right, we are in executive. We'll go to the back room, folks. We will adjourn from executive. There'll be no action taken, so thank you.